rather than EMR, because it's more streamlined. Because different doctors' offices keep records a little bit differently. They all keep the gist like the same thing. They might use different software, a different format. So that's why EMR stays more like personal and like central, while EHR is a lot more like streamlined and it's like more general and pretty much everyone can like access it and understand it. So
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about benefits, but we can go back over them. I don't know if there's a third one, so I'm gonna wait. Go ahead. Oh, me? Okay. So the High Tech Act that we talked about before, which is basically like,
that was the allocation of money, by the way.
that's what initiated EHR. So when that act was like passed and created, that's how they got permission to get the money to create EHR nationwide. So its benefits: it presents complete and accurate information about a client's health to healthcare providers, and it provides better and easier accessibility to health records, which is what we talked about. Pretty much common sense. Electronics go a lot faster than paper. That's a big one. Number 3, Ms. Wolf emphasized that one a lot last year. Basically, like, especially as high schoolers, like, we need to be able to know our, like, stuff about our health. You have to know what's going on inside your body. Like, your parents aren't just gonna, you know, especially when you start driving, your parents aren't in the car with you. If you get in an accident, you get hurt, like, you have to be able to tell EMS, like, what's going on, and it's really important that you know a lot about your health. So it's good that we have, like, our own thing to look at.
Right.
I'm using my hands unnecessarily.
And it's important to have records, because you might not remember that stomach condition you had 2 years ago, but it might be important, you know?
Who here knows their blood type?
Nobody.
Emma, what's your blood type?
Are you sure it's B negative?
Cool. So, a big thing that we should know is our blood type.
Really?
Okay, I just need an
They'll
example.
type and screen you anyways.
Okay, well, I was just gonna
I have a
ask one.
question.
I just got yeeted.
Why
How
do you
quickly can they
guys,
find out your blood type?
Pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
As long as
okay,
it's, you're in a
what's something
hospital,
like
they can
really
do
important do you think we should know? Like, if we were in an accident.
it. Allergies to medication.
Oh, for real?
none.
That's
So, like,
super important.
isn't like penicillin a big one? Like, a lot of people are like allergic to
Depends
it.
on your parents.
Okay, so what are some reasons you guys think using EHR might be beneficial in improving client care and reducing costs? How do you think that works?
Literally just saving on the supplies that you need for college.
Right. So they're saving money on like people to keep books, like they're saving money on like transporting documents, on people like flying out and like getting things from other hospitals. How do you think it improves client care? It saves time and everyone can see the record, so there's a lot less chance of having an accidental mistake. So if everyone knows that you're allergic to, I don't know, what's a medicine that you can be allergic to?
Penicillin.
If you're allergic to penicillin, then the hospital in the next town over won't just give you penicillin because they know.
So, like, something like weird, like latex. I mean, most hospitals, like, you all pretty much have like latex free, right?
Mhm.
Well, when like that wasn't a thing to always have latex free, people were allergic to latex. And like,
And they
you
wouldn't
don't want to
know
go
until
into
it's too
somebody
late.
with latex gloves and friggin' mess them up. Like, my mom was extremely allergic to latex. I don't know why. But like, she had, when my mom had her mastectomy done, they had latex gloves. And like, all over her skin, she had rashes and everything. She didn't know though. Like, I
Right.
mean, but
So
like,
EHR
that was a couple years ago.
it gets rid of a lot of those tiny little preventable things,
Yeah.
like a latex.
Not that that would be in there, but it's good to know your health stuff. CMS, do you have one of? Yeah, you do. She doesn't most, there's certain things she crosses out on this one, right?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
So CMS is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, so it's like health insurance. They created the Meaningful Use thing, which is a financial incentive program to encourage the national use of EHR technology. So it's like another like money thing, like another money grant. But there are standards of the meaningful use. Is it like an act? I don't know. It includes collaborating with other healthcare providers to coordinate client care. So if people want to use EHR, they have to be willing to work with other hospitals and other providers to like streamline things. They have to be, they have to transmit prescriptions directly to the pharmacy. So instead of like,
You, wow.
So they just have to send prescriptions directly to the pharmacy, which also gets rid of further mistakes. And they also have to allow clients to participate in their own care, so like that's access to my chart and being able to like input your own information and change things if necessary.
So really quick, what we were saying, electronic health record, like that, a PHR is an electronic health record. Like it's something that you can find online through electronics, and it's okay, but it's a personal health record. The only difference is you have EHR and you have electronic medical record, EMR, and then PHR. So you have like two branches under your EHR, if that makes sense. So like you can't look at every electronic health record because there's some that only the hospital can look at, but then you have ones that you can't have access to, like your PHR.
It is pretty confusing, but it is designed for the client to keep the client as safe as possible. So
Like what Ms. Wolf talked about on Wednesday. Me? So what information is included in EHR? Provider can I see that paper, please? Thanks, Boo. Provider documentation. So healthcare provider documentation, including details of current care and response to treatment. Oh my gosh, this was one of my vocab words on my AP Lit test today. So, okay, ancillary. This word, it's very important to know this word because it means secondary, not the key. It's kind of like what was the synonym for it? Accessory. I think it was accessory too. Yeah, so like, it's just means like secondary services. So documentation of additional services for related care, including laboratory reports, radiology reports, and nutrition assessments. So what that's saying, if I'm reading that right, is like it's not just your main healthcare. If you go to other doctors and not like your main office, like first like specialist. If you go to like a specialist, like that's not your main.
and they have to
Like
keep,
providers, so they have
records
to
of
send them
everything, like all the tests they ran, which helps like, say you went in to a hospital for an x-ray because you had like a fracture, they would rather send that x-ray over than have to do another super expensive test. It depends on the hospital, but
So
they
for
have to list everything.
Yeah, and for provider documentation, it may contain things created by the physicians and nurses working with a client. It also includes current care, response to treatment, operative and procedure reports, and flow sheets. Flow sheets is a big one. For the ancillary services, it said everything that's on the slide. Okay, Ms. Wolf, thank you. Pharmacy notes, prescription records, and medication administration records. Access to notes exchanged within pharmacies, prescription records for how to administer medication may also be available in an EHR. So if somebody, give me an example of when you have to know how much to give, like medicine, how much medicine someone needs. What's an example?
I got pain.
So,
Okay, but like what would be something that your pharmacist would have to know, like
like a
Okay,
determined
how much?
factor and how much
Dose.
medicine to
How
give you.
tall you are, how much you weigh.
Weight, height, gender, pretty much everything.
facts? Okay. Number 4, reports and correspondence. This one just says any additional reports and correspondence concerning clients will be kept in EHR as well. So literally everything that you need to know about you and your well-being will be in your EHR.
Right.
It should be in your EHR.
And they wanna list as much as possible to keep you the safest and to avoid liability.
Yeah, like if you were to read your PHR, like it's not just bullet points, like it is in depth about things about you, like every prescription you had to take, every
For how
surgery
long,
or
every
anything like that.
diagnosis, every doctor visit.
Yeah. Like even when you were a baby, if you had like your tonsils taken out or anything like that, like all of it has to be in it.
Cause you never really know like what you have now that could affect something in the future, or like what happened in the past that's affecting you now, so.
Okay. Barriers to the EHR. So there are barriers that have prevented healthcare providers and facilities from totally reliant on EHR. Before I like show these barriers, What do you guys think? What could be a barrier to an electronic health record?
Undiagnosed
What could be
conditions?
something that can mess it up? What?
Undiagnosed conditions?
Yeah,
We're
but
thinking
like,
like systematically.
yeah, like what's something that would mess up, you know, correct information or accurate things on your EHR?
Kind of a hard question.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Ms. Wolf. This is how it feels when people don't answer your questions. I need to start answering more. I feel bad. Actually,
I don't know.
I just need to stop talking.
Hey, but you guys are
Tell
actually paying
us.
attention. Thank you.
Give us
Fire.
the answer.
Okay, first one is cost. So the initial startup of EHR is very expensive, which is why that number for that high-tech act was so high. Ongoing support and maintenance and liability. So in every hospital, when we took a tour of the hospital last year, remember how I went to that tech room and like they talked about us like how much goes on behind the scenes, even in the ER alone, not even the whole hospital. Like they have their own side of just like the technology area.
Right.
There's so much. They have to make sure the maintenance is up and going 24/7. Hospitals like that ER doesn't close, right? Didn't think so. Okay.
And the ER room, they can't just like not have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So
You always have
Well, they can. It's just a big problem.
yeah.
like you have to have things that are like going because okay. So what happens if Wi-Fi goes down in the ER?
You have to do everything on paper.
So
It's
what
a lot
happens if
harder.
you can't look up someone's medical chart? What do?
You just rely on the patient.
Mm-hmm.
So like, is it scary though? Like when you can't like,
Well, it's terrible if they're not, you know,
Really?
awake or they're unconscious or
Mhm.
whatever.
have you ever had like a scenario where that happened?
Well, we have patients come in, we don't know who they are because they're out,
Mhm.
so you just wing it.
Oh, wow.
All right, so you gotta wing it.
Okay.
But like you see how that
Are
can
you in
cause
the ER?
problems. Like
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Oh, so you do it normally?
yeah, I work in the ER.
She's seen stuff.
But like, even when I like, did you have your intern thing with Miss Wolf at the ER?
No, I didn't get to do it because of Corona.
Okay, so when I went, I got to do like an 8-hour shift with Miss Wolf. Normally it's 12 hours that she does, but I only did 8 hours. And like, it's just crazy how much, like how hectic an ER is. Like it is, and obviously like, you know, but like,
So much stress.
it is so stressful. So just imagine like not being able, like Miss Wolf was at her computer 24/7. She was running like 5 or 6 patients that day. It was crazy. And they're just in and out, in and out, in and out because then you send them upstairs or they're free to go. Like it is so crazy. And she was constantly at her computer like updating things. She was telling me every step by step that she was doing. And I can't even imagine if her Wi-Fi went down. Like I know it
And
because
that
I wouldn't
place-
want to be like I wouldn't want to be there. That they no.
And that plays into maintenance, so they probably always have people around. But
Yeah.
if the Wi-Fi goes down, they'll be there to fix it.
Another thing, training. So how much training do you have to do to like figure out how to work like the systems? Like is
Well,
it a
the
lot?
a
ER
doctor?
system.
No,
To be a nurse?
no, to work the
Just
system.
like to work the
Oh.
computer system, it just
Yeah.
depends on the system, some of them are easier than others.
So like the one that you have to use.
It
like,
sucks.
It's bad?
It's bad.
Okay. So if somebody is like ignorant to how to work the system, you are going to mess stuff up, and that is a huge barrier. Like if you put in Jimmy's chart that he's got something, I don't really know, some bad disease, and really it was supposed to be like Rachel's chart and Rachel had the
Yeah.
disease, like you're gonna screw some stuff up. That's not okay. So
Or there's two
Gotta be
Jimmys,
trained.
and you know.
I know.
yeah,
Jimmy
what if
Fallon
they're
and Jimmy Kimmel.
what if
you
they
know?
what if there are two Jimmys? So serious, like what if like it's silly, but like oh my
So
gosh,
people
I
have
just
to
said
have
silly out
extensive
loud.
training to operate PHR so that it doesn't get all messed up. 'Cause it's
EHR, not
easily-
PHR.
Huh?
EHR.
EHR.
So what you're saying is-
PHR.
There's a very easy way
I
that
don't think so.
To
to,
mess it up.
yes.
Yes, seems that way.
And
Very
I'm sure
stressful.
And
people still
also,
make
you could
mistakes, but-
assassinate somebody really, really easily just by messing with their medical records.
Oh dear
It's
lord.
good to know.
Macy. Okay, so like here's
wait,
an example.
Guys,
Wow.
Macy wants to be a nurse.
Oh,
Oh
The
god.
doctor, actually.
You are not passing your board. Free response question. You could easily assassinate somebody this way. Anyways, just like really quick on that too, when you have like a trauma patient coming in, there's always somebody documenting everything, right? Like that's what Miss
There
Wolf was
should
saying.
be.
Yeah, they should be.
In a perfect world.
And okay, so normally you have like somebody who should be documenting like what's going on, and just imagine if that person like is slow because they're trying to figure out the system. Like trauma stuff's pretty quick. Like you can't have that. So it's like overlooked like the technology side, but that's like a big deal in hospitals. Compatibility is another one, the ability to share data across systems. So if one person's getting airlifted to another hospital, right, and
Why do
they,
you keep looking at me?
because you're like making eye contact and I'm like intimidated by everybody else, so I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, I'll just stare at the projector. It's a little dusty. There's finger marks on there. Imagine being able to reach that. So anyways, compatibility. If someone's getting like airlifted somewhere, right, you need to be able to send their information, or at least the other hospital needs, like if you updated something, you did something at that hospital, and it might not be in all the systems yet, you have to be able to get that information to the other hospital. So
Which,
compatibility.
would that be EMR or EHR? Yes, good job, Kiki. Because EHR is the streamlined one that everybody gets.
You're.
Patient privacy, protection of clients, PHR, and data breaches. Now, this is what Ms. Wolf was talking about. Like, she can't go in and go on her own PHR in the hospital. And a big reason for this is, if you leave your computer open on your PHR, and you walk away from your desk for a second, and another nurse comes over, sits down at that computer, your PHR is like right there, and
That's a security breach.
that is a HIPAA violation.
A violation.
That is a possible lawsuit somewhere, and that's just no bueno, because like, what if Carter over here learns about Miss Wolf's medical history, sees that she's like allergic to something, and Carter is like mean, tries to like mess with Miss Wolf? Like, no ma'am, you can't do that.
Working
So
harder, man.
patient privacy
This guy
is
sucks.
a big deal, but it also could be you breaching in on your own stuff as well, which is what
That
Miss Wolf,
doesn't really make sense.
Wait, you can reach.
like,
You can't access your own
you
chart.
can't access your own
That's what
chart.
makes me mad. When we went to Health Park, that's where I was born. I said, can you tell me? Because, like, my mom said that on the list they had, like, my blood type and stuff, and I wanted to know what my blood type was. And because I had to get, like, a transfusion, so I don't even know why. But I was like, can I see it? I was like, my name is Mason Lunsford. Like, I was born here. Like, this is me. And they're like, no.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like,
Why?
I was like, show you my ID. Give
You
it to
can't
me.
know that stuff. Like,
What do you mean I can't know how I was born?
You just can't. What if they made a note about you that they don't want you to know about?
Like, what if
See,
you're
every
really?
I mean, you just
Interactive,
can't
like,
access your own
baby
chart.
is
You
Like,
can't.
okay, this is a
What
super.
what do you mean?
You can't go and access your
Oh
own
my gosh,
chart
you're
in the
gonna make her
hospital.
think she's like really from
do you mean?
Australia and
They-
her parents lied to her and like
Right.
she wasn't born in Florida.
What do you mean they made a note about me that they don't want me to
No,
know?
there's a chance that they could have.
But
So,
what would
okay,
that
think about
mean?
this. No,
Okay,
think
so
about
let's
this.
say you were Baker Acted one time, right? You can't access your chart and see what they wrote about you.
You can't.
But I no, that's not the same. I was an infant.
Doesn't matter.
No,
You
it's
still
just
can't
that-
access
an
your
ugly
chart.
baby. Oh my
Baby got some big feet.
god.
No, but like, okay, so say this is a big one too. Foster kids or kids who are adopted. Like, what if they're like, if they're like, they're not
What if
supposed
they
to know
don't
some
wanna
stuff.
Or you might want to change your record. So you're
That too.
accessing your chart and you go and change something. You can't do that.
Right, so say you wanna get a job and you were Baker acted,
I mean, if they access your chart, then the HIM people will see who accessed it, and they had no reason to access it, and they can lose their job.
hospitals are
That
all
okay,
about
that's
privacy.
That
that
makes
makes
sense to
sense.
Macy.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense. Because like I wasn't trying to make anyone lose their job, but I was like talking to the one of the nurse ladies, or whatever. I was like, because that was when we were in the NICU, and we were in the Golisano area, and I was like talking, because like I wasn't born there obviously, but like I was like, you know, can I see like my records and stuff here? And then she was like, just no. No, she just kept saying no, like just over and over. She just like wouldn't
She
even.
should have explained it.
You
but-
should have
did,
stopped
she
asking
wouldn't.
after the
You
first
should have
no.
started asking the first no.
First three.
Because no, I was like, I said, but it's me. I was like, do I need to show like ID or something? And she was like, no.
I literally would have been like, get this girl out of here. Like, no. Okay, last one, really quick. Workflow disruption. This is kind of what we were talking about like Wi-Fi, anything like that. Like, just things being slow. Say, like, somebody has something wrong with one patient and they're supposed to be checking on this other patient, but they're stuck on another patient. And now there's like a patient crying, so then another nurse who's not supposed to be in their group has to go over and help this patient. Well, then their patient's freaking out. A lot of disruption can't happen. That's the whole point. Disruption, workflow, bad. Next slide.
Bad.
Oh no, we're done. Hey guys, that's a question.
So,
We gotta go.
Okay,
Yeah,
bye.
3 o'clock.
so what does EHR stand for?
Electrical hospital records.
Oh my gosh, did you not
Whatever,
learn anything?
whatever.
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't
Okay, Parker, you're in the ballpark.
No, the ballpark is in China and you were in freaking like Australia. I was so off.
Okay,
Alright.
Australia,
I love you
Bye,
though.
please.
Bye.
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 emergency
I'm not going.
healthcare
Parker,
records.
you play
Parker.
football.
Yeah, but I have a broken back, so.
It seems okay to me.
I think he can access his healthcare record.
Oh, no.
Okay, no,
I don't know.
guys, let's get this done, let's get this done.
Okay.
Emergency healthcare records, right?
No.
Alright, we're gonna go around the room. Y'all have to give me one benefit. Okay, it's electronic.
Health,
Electronic.
electronic health
Can I
record.
first?
That's what I said.
We're
It's
gonna-
very safe.
Okay.
That's not what you said.
We're gonna have you elaborate because we're gonna make Miss Wolf proud and know what we're talking about. So, one purpose of and benefits of using EHR. Parker, go. Elaborate on being safe. How?
It's safer because, like, random people just can't get your information.
Good. Yeah, and they
Right,
can't just
so-
open your file.
So like
Perfect.
Emma's example of like a serial killer, say it was like a doctor, well, doctor.
When did I bring up a serial killer?
I did.
No, she did.
No, the idea, the concept of Carter hurting his.
Oh, that guy!
yeah.
That guy, yes. Forgot about Carter. We don't like Carter.
So it's
Freaking
things that-
Carter.
it's like that concept, it keeps you safer, there can't be like.
Why are
say it's
you
a
up without a
famous-
mask?
That's
Did you?
COVID.
That's
say it's
disgusting.
like a-
That's Rona.
That's COVID.
Rona?
Listen, I wanna sit down.
Go sit down.
I want to sit.
So say it's a
Imagine
famous
standing.
person and they have like
Oh,
cancer or something and they don't want it to get out. EHR, see like Chadwick Boseman.
Too soon.
EHR had a lot to do with nobody knowing that he had cancer. Was in the implementation of this. Because
Hey, good
only-
job.
That's a
only his-
very good example.
Only his
Proud of you.
healthcare providers knew and probably I don't know. family.
Proud of you. Okay, an example of a breach. Y'all remember when Demi said "yuck" and Odin,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We love Lovato. Yeah. Okay.
That
So
was a HIPAA
that
breach.
was a breach. No one was supposed to know about that, and then dumb paparazzi outside her house was like, "Ooh, gotta find out."
That's not a HIPAA breach.
Isn't it a HIPAA breach?
Not if it's.
You
has
can't
nothing to
share
do with
somebody
the
else's
hospital.
medical records.
Yeah, but
though.
it's the paparazzi. They do.
It's a paparazzi.
But it's still a breach. Like, didn't they get it from the hospital? Wasn't that the whole
But
scandal?
a family member could have been informed. And
Oh,
then
I
they
thought the
told-
scam was that they got it from.
And she
Damn
didn't even
scam.
OD on heroin like they said, so they got a lot of it wrong.
Well,
'cause it was
point
Plan
is,
B.
Yeah,
that's not good.
exactly.
Don't talk about other people's health stuff. Okay, Kelsey, give me a purpose of and benefit of using EHR other than the safety factor.
It's more cost efficient.
Yeah,
Also.
it saves a lot of paper.
Yes,
And
Save the tree.
And it saves money on like tests, like if they already got a test. we don't-
Yes,
Perfect,
that's
that's
awesome. Like super expensive tests, like
Good.
MRI.
Especially if they
CAT
switch
scans,
hospitals,
MRIs.
switch states. Perfect. Macy, determine the aspect of meaningful use.
What does that even mean?
Determine what?
So what does meaningful use mean?
So that means to
Oh,
like
yeah.
To use it.
in a meaningful way.
Okay,
Purpose.
actually,
Like how so?
to use it to not hurt anybody else, to use it in the way it was meant to be
Yeah,
used, which
exactly,
is
and,
to
like,
keep
holding-
people safe and streamline the process.
Thank you for the
Perfect.
answer, Lindsay. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, Sarah. Little Sarah, yes. I love you. That's why I'm little, so it's fine. Identify barriers to
There were
the
six
use of the
them.
EHR.
You can't access your own, your family's,
Why not?
Because you're not allowed to go back and change something that you might not like because it could affect you in the future. So like say you were Baker acted like we've been saying, I don't know.
Seems to be the theme in here.
See, yeah.
Well,
let's just
it's
say-
really the most
It's
traumatic thing that I saw in the
It's
ER.
a theme in here.
That was the most traumatic thing for me in the ER was the trauma dude who came in and then they had to like Baker act him and I had to like, he was talking to me and it made me really sad. Like while I was walking in the
Okay,
school,
were,
because I
Emma,
was like,
were you with our group? I don't think that you were. The guy who the EMTs brought in strapped to the gurney, who's on drugs, he was like talking to like our group. He was like trying to get like our attention. He tried to like get my attention because he like so he would like talk about my hair color. Yeah, he. It's
I would've
crazy,
talked to him.
crazy.
one of the dudes when I was in the ER, this guy had this tattoo of a scar.
No, we're gotta finish this, please.
Okay.
Goodness. Okay, Grace.
You got 13
What is a
minutes.
barrier to the EHR?
Inexperienced staff. is
Ooh,
exposed to the
Which
process.
is training.
See, someone was paying attention.
Yes, thank
Yes.
Hey!
Yes. And she's the youngest one in
you.
here.
Kelsey and Parker
She's a
were
sophomore.
also there.
The rest of the
Thank
people
you.
are
She was not
juniors
paying
and
attention.
seniors.
I answered
Yes.
her question
Poor
for her.
girl.
Right? I know. I don't know why she took
Didn't
this
even give me a
class.
chance to speak.
Okay.
Eva, hey, what was the barrier of the EHR?
cost.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
cost.
That's what I said.
Somebody already said that.
Darn.
Oh,
She was on her phone, so she doesn't know.
She's an idiot.
Man, that phone needs to go in the
Yeah, that's
box.
supposed to be on the bio.
That's
Yours is
supposed to be in the
not.
box,
Yours
man.
in the biohazard bin.
Compatibility.
Explain, elaborate without Lindsay's help.
Don't cheat. That's cheating.
You're gonna knock our grade down. No, we're
She was
separate
on her
grades.
phone, so it's not your fault.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Think about the word compatibility in reference to what we've been talking about.
Don't cheat.
Right.
I'm not cheating.
It's hard to be compatible with the program, with
Wi-Fi.
That's profound.
With EHR.
Because what if you have an old lady working on staff and she's not computer savvy?
Exactly.
What is she gonna do?
That's more
I just
training.
asked that
She's
career.
gonna die. That's
Well,
a good
I mean,
answer, Eva. I will build on your answer.
Thank you.
Who by
So
that?
compatibility has to do
You're
with
still
the
trying to
ability
finish
to
line.
share
I'm trying to find it. I can't
data
find it.
and understand it. So that was everybody.
Oh, there you go. Emma, what's
Sarah,
compatibility?
Did you say one? Do you want to?
It's the ability to share data across systems.
Good, I
The
go.
only one left is disruption.
I haven't
Purpose
clicked on
and
it yet.
privacy, which is safety. Workflow disruption.
Actually, you can give me a benefit of the EHR.
I don't know anymore. Everyone's everything.
No, benefit. We only had 2 benefits then. There's another one. What's a good reason to having electronic health? One more. Just give another one.
Like other hospitals can access it so you don't need to move on medication.
Good. Yeah.
Right, so it keeps you safer and
Good.
it lessens the chance of making mistakes.
Okay, so you have 2 options. You can choose to work on your lessons 2, 3, and 4, which is just clicking through slides, going through EHR systems. It's pretty cool.
You don't have to take a
Or we
quiz.
can talk about fun medical stories.
Medical stories.
Woo! Okay, that means you have to do it for homework.
All, no,
You don't
wait,
actually have to do it for
wait.
homework, but like
Let
just.
me elaborate. All Miss Wolf asked us to do is just click through the modules. You don't have to take a quiz.
Right.
Yeah, so if you want to just don't stop recording, we're having discussion. I'm just kidding, you can stop it, I don't really care.
I'm gonna say
So no quiz, right?